Alright. We're here with the Necrobloom. 4 mana 2/7. Obzon. Landfall. Make a 0/1 plant. And if you have what is essentially Field of the Dead clause, which is 7 or more lands with different names, you make 2/2s instead. So it's just Field of the Dead, basically. One of my favorite cards in Commander is Field of the Dead, so this seems pretty neat. Lands have Dredge 2, which is kind of neat. I'm not really using that too much, that side of it, but it does mean once this is in play, any fetch land will be the only land I'll ever need after the fact, because I can just keep getting the same fetch land out, and hopefully it's a fetch land that finds multiple targets that are like different names, right? With that being said, it's just mostly green to ramp like crazy and try to just kill people with 2/2s. I know that's not super reliable sometimes, but boy, do I love it. The Golos that wish it could be. I have there's two very, very good cards that this can run that normal green decks can't, and that is Avacyn's Pilgrim and Deathrite Shaman. Deathrite Shaman doesn't really play too well with trying to dredge the same fetch land over and over. However, when you're dredging, you're milling yourself, and you're probably going to mill lands. So, and we have a ton of fetch lands. We have 9 of like the dual colored ones and a couple others, and it's probably pretty easy to get Deathrite Shaman to be another 1 mana Minidork at this point, right? Just 3 colors and up give you, a lot of fetch lands that are reasonable to run. I have Null Elemental Blast. I think this is just a really good card. I have one basic Wastes in here. It's the Snow Wastes. You don't have to run a Snow version. I don't think it matters too much, but we have Into the North, which can get the Snow Wastes, so you might as well make it a Snow land. I don't know. For like the big scary stuff, I have Emrakul. I think this is a pretty neat out of nowhere win condition. People might not ever really respect it because they're maybe not used to it yet, right? It's probably, I still don't know if it's better than Ulamog. In hand, it's debatable. I have no way to madness it, but I just like the effect. Like, obviously, if you're gonna Ulamog 2 creatures, you're just gonna want to cast this instead, right? So, you could run the other Emrakul, just because, I always say it, people just concede to it really quickly, even though they could probably just beat it. So that one works with Dredge more, because it gets discounted for the types of cards in your graveyard, so that one's probably more reasonable to run. However, I just want to run this one, because it's new. Overwhelming Splendor is a valid win condition, in my opinion, and I have, Pilgrim and Tutor to find it, along with whatever could tutor for it. Like Beseech, you can sacrifice creature tokens, I'm pretty sure. So you can bargain away your plants and your zombies. That's kind of neat. I don't know if there's any other bargain cards I like. Really, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really look, but this is definitely one of the go-to bargain cards. I don't have a lot of really awesome things to like bargain. Really, you could maybe get One Ring in here and Palantir. Milling yourself, again, is not really a big deal when you can dredge lands. That just seems like a solid idea. There could be an issue where I don't have enough basics for all the basic land ramp spells, but I don't imagine that will be too big of a deal. Well, we'll see, I guess. I also don't have a ton of 2 mana removal and no 1 mana discard or removal. Keeping the point deck weight low seems like a good idea, so I'm not just playing against myself, but instead of it's being Necrobloom, it's just Golos, and I just lose in the command zone instead. So if that's something I feel like it's getting in the way a lot, you can change that, right? There probably is a sweaty version of this that could play like tier 1 commanders, but if you don't have to, with keeping your deck kind of the same power level anyways, I don't see an incentive. I don't actually know the weight of Primeval Titan, but this is probably a Primeval Titan deck. It does feel like an Hour of Promise deck, so I guess this is fine, right? They're kind of the same. You usually don't ever get to swing with this, and if you do, opponent's probably losing if they don't kill it in combat or something, right? You're just getting so much, so many lands off of this. I could also maybe run anywhere from like 3 to 5 more large scary things. I think that is possible. I could find myself in a position where I just wish I was Pock, and all those lands just were strong alone, where this is like, maybe I need more than just an army of 2/2s, right? This is way more vulnerable than no, Field of the Dead. So who knows? I'm just gonna start with this. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I could run some more tutors to find them and stuff. I do think this is a cool Pillage the Bog deck as well, because obviously any land-based deck is going to just love a impulse, except it's instead of 4, it's like 40. This just seems pretty neat, right? Assemble a Team was already solid, so we have this. Diabolic Intent doesn't do much until a little bit later, so it's not very good at, like, finding a ramp spell if we need mana, because we have to, like, sack one of our 1-drops. We better hope it's a Boreal Grazer or Kami, because we don't want to get rid of Llanowar Elves. So it's mostly just for sacrificing the plants and zombies. Could run Grave Pact as well. Yeah, there's ideas. There's ideas here, really, but this is just where I'm starting. Green, ramp, Smooth Brain, make 2/2s. Opponent maybe concedes. Crater Hoof, again, another thing that could come in here. Just not trying it right now. Alright, let's send it as is, but it is definitely subject to change. This Abzan land ramp stuff definitely has well over 150 cards that you could pick from, so this is just the first 99. Let's send it. Oh, when does this thing end? 20 minutes? Alright, we'll do 20 minutes of the thing. The midweek thing, I forgot it was still up. And then we'll send it in the normal queue. I think the queue is the same, but I don't know. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It matters not to me. Keenan, alright. I guess it does matter. Unfortunate. While I'm on the play with this, D-Spark is not super great at dealing with anything except, like, the end result, which is not ideal. I also probably don't do too good at playing a long game against Keenan, because they can just start to actually cast their spells. Alright, well, I guess this queue is just all over the place then. It's fair enough. Or maybe we're tier 1. Screw it. Ah, man, if only I had no lands in hand. If only. I actually think I will keep that. I think I actually will keep that. There's obviously nothing to D-Spark, and there will be nothing to D-Spark. Okay, yeah, we're playing this before our commander. Get some land value here. That can go away. Alright. I mean, hard to ask for more than this. I know, like, not playing lands in a hand doesn't give me this at a discount, but I can't imagine that's super important. And now we can see why Keenan is stupid. And I have no business playing against it. Alright, that's... Can I play this as a land? I cannot. That is unfortunate. I should probably leave up D-Spark at this point. Probably? Wait, why can't I play this now? Okay, that was very strange. That was very strange. I don't know why it then let me play it. Maybe there's something I didn't understand. Or it just wasn't glowing until I played a land already. Some kind of visual issue. I didn't leave up D-Spark with this, but there's not a lot of blue-green haste, really. If I Idyllic Tutor for Splendor, it could completely shut down the Keenan strategy. That is pretty neat. I don't really know what Cultivate's doing in this deck. It's not a typical thing you see. Like, at all. That's weird. Keenan doesn't really care to do that. We could make the board very gummed up, so it's only like big flying stuff that's an issue. That... What does that do? I don't know what this does. I have to make sure. When it dies, we token, draw... Okay, so it gives them cards, but it doesn't itself present a major issue. I would like to surprise my opponent with this. So, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I don't know if I'm casting this right now. I also probably should have cast this first. Because I don't want a land stuck on the top of my deck. Yeah, I should have cast this before I did anything else. Let's get the waste, I guess. Okay, yeah, this is exactly why. Alright, Rite of Oblivion's good, but notably so is just leaving up D-Spark. I'm not interested in respecting anything. I'll just, like, if you have a counterspell, that's fine. I'm not under any, like, nothing's killing me. Nothing's killing me. Alright. I've never seen a Keenan player have to think before. That's weird. My opponent just straight up passed the turn. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 11, 12. 8, 9, 10, 11. So I will not be able to despark the same turn I cast this. So I'm going to send this and see what my opponent does. I would like a reaction. So Overwhelming Splendor resolves. They know about Rite of Oblivion. So, like... I just beat Keenan. I just beat Keenan. Oh, well. Okay, sure. I don't know the downside of a hand like this, so clearly there is not one. Alright, that could be a whole slew of different things. In this spot, I think it makes sense to play this. And, I guess I'll also just cast this. I think that's just getting cards out of hand is... makes more sense. Who knows? Okay. Could have a red spell now. I don't want to blow this up. I'm not interested in blowing it up. I will play this. Don't really care about my commander until later. Let's get our... yeah, let's get this out of the way now. And... I'm not swinging, and I'll probably just surveil after I crack the bauble. And Blood Moon. What is happening right now? Why is this happening? Let's get black, because I need black. And this can get white, because I need white. I have Maelstrom Pulse for this Blood Moon. I just don't know if I want to cast it. I really don't know if I want to cast it. I probably will, though. I probably will. Alright, we don't need that. Yeah, we're gonna blow this up. I don't know what has been going on. Seems kind of insane. If they have a counter spell, I guess I do kind of just straight lose. So, alright, they do not. But they have Wash Away. Fun. Of course, why not? Alright, well, I mean, all things considered, that was not really that bad. It's kind of just fine. This has Spell Trample? Excess damage... oh, okay, never mind, that's not how it reads. It's a 3-drop, so D-Spark's not looking too great. I don't know what universe, I don't just simply cast this, so I will simply cast it. Excess damage. Seems a little difficult to do that on a 7 toughness creature. Okay, I would like to deal with that, but I guess I cannot. I think I'd rather draw than dredge. I think I'd rather draw. Alright, let's go get some of these gates. Making 2/2s can be a little questionable as well. I can... giant would deal damage. Okay, that's fine. I also probably did not want to sacrifice a basic there. Alright, army of 2/2s coming. Midnight Clock is... hopefully my opponent's only out to really getting out of this. What does this do? 4 damage to any target. Okay. This is a strange attack. I feel like it's a strange attack. I don't really get this attack, and I am not interested in respecting anything, so knock yourself out. I feel like that was extremely favorable for me. Maybe not. I don't know. It's what happened. Negate rampant growth. I love it. That is a lot of giants. For sure. Again, not really looking to dredge here. Let's, I guess, do this. Okay, that's not really that great. Let's turn this into forests. And then, I guess, get rid of this guy. Maybe I wanted to putrefy the midnight clock, actually. I don't know, my opponent's in top deck mode. Yeah, I probably wanted to blow up the midnight clock. That was probably a mistake. Hopefully it doesn't come to bite me. But I'm feeling like it might here. Feeling like it might. Okay, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. I don't even know what I'm getting here, actually. I don't know. Casualties of war? Yeah, alright, I didn't have to bargain a zombie. I did not have to bargain a zombie there. That's funny. Land, creature, artifact. Alright, most people concede when you cast this. I don't think this is any different. This is just extremely powerful, and there's not really much they can do about it. Yep. Nadu, Winged Wisdom. Alright, this is the, I said this was worse than Ivy, and then my YouTube comments exploded and said I'm being ridiculous. So apparently it's unyieldingly powerful. I just have not seen it do anything. I'm sure this will be corrected real quick. Yeah, it would be nice to have that colorless land right now, but no, I don't have it. This doesn't get it either. That's interesting. Okay. This also doesn't get it, right? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, maybe they tap out on the turn they play their thing, and I can kill it with Mythos here. They just simply cast it. It doesn't have Flash, right? The fact that it costs 3 is just so insanely different from Ivy. I don't... Like, you can play 1-drop on turn 1, turn 2, cast Ivy, and have a spell up. You can't do that with this. Like, that's... I don't even know how you compare those. Like, to me, Ivy's just in a league of its own, with that logic in mind. I think my opponent missed their land drop. Okay. I'm about to miss mine. Let's get... Godless Shrine? I do need a second white, and more black is fine. I don't need more green. And this stops me from getting beaten to death, and they might not really even answer this card, so... But I don't have more lands. Kinda sketchy. Okay, my opponent did not find a land, fortunately. Oh, right, I can dredge lands. Never mind. My commander has text on it. Oh, commander has text on it. Okay, so let's get rid of you. Okay, at least they didn't find a protection spell, or have one in hand. I would have probably just immediately lost the game there. Let's just pass. They've drawn a lot of cards now, so finding another land is somewhat likely. And this can't find my colorless land. So no null elemental blast for me. Oh, I love the fact that I can guarantee a land drop if I find one. This Merfolk package is weird. There's like some wild stuff going on right now. Really? You just have nothing, huh? Wow. Okay. Let's surveil 1. This stops a... Wait a minute. No, you wanted to do this on your own turn. No, they wanted to do this in their main phase. If you hit a land here, you're going to feel real bad. You did hit a land. Yeah, you're going to feel real bad about that. I guess black-green? Because they didn't play the land. Alright, that's another land. It is a 2-mana land, too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which does work. I can just bin it and dredge it. It seems kind of awkward to do. I'll just draw it normally. I don't see much of a reason to dredge if I don't have to. I don't really get why I would care about that. Let's pick up that. I guess I could have actually tapped the mana first, but I didn't. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter anyways. I don't know what I'm getting off this Beseech, but whatever it is, it's definitely going to be bargained. So it could just be a ramp spell, and then Overwhelming Splendor is just a thing that exists in my opponent's life here. I can get Binding, but that gets a tap land. I think it makes a lot of sense to just... Yeah, we just want to do this. We just want to do this here. We want to cast Overwhelming Splendor. Let's get our colorless, and I guess a white gate. And if my opponent taps out next turn for their commander, well, guess what? They don't have any mana. And then I just Overwhelming Splendor. Oh, I dropped my phone. Oh, no. I don't know that was on my leg anyways. The problem is they know about Rite of Oblivion, so if they can't answer it, casting their commander feels bad. Yeah. This is another game where I feel like Ivy is literally better. It just feels leagues better than this. I don't know. Oh, they found a land. Can you use it for anything? I would love for you to use it right now. Because boy, would Spell Pierce suck. Okay. Alright, so now they need Pact of Negation or they are kind of screwed. Can I leave up my... I can. I can leave up the Nullhide. And I will. Which is hilarious. Alright, good luck, opponent. I don't actually have any attacks here, but... I keep trying to call this Nullhide. I don't know why I'm doing that. Yep, look at that. Nebby got him. But yeah, I don't know. Like, this is a lot different than Ivy coming in on turn 2. Right? If you have a 1-drop, like Llanowar Elves, and then you go to your next turn, you cast Ivy on turn 2 with a mana up and a bajillion protection spells. Just like Malcolm, right? Malcolm, except you get to play green, so you can do it twice as fast, basically, because you can leave up mana immediately. Okay, so you steal cards? That's kind of cool. That's different. I have no white mana. I can find it here. There's only a very few double whites in my deck. I kind of want the colorless land, so I'll probably just race that out. But yeah, this is what we're really striving for. 1 into 3 is just insane. Okay, we got Vista. We can dirtle with the wastes here. Don't have to put the waste in play. Okay, so with this, I can play my commander and then play whatever. I guess I'll play Vista. Double landfall trigger. Doesn't really matter. If it's a 2-2 or a 0-1, like, it doesn't... I don't think I'm going to hold this for just 2-2s later. My opponent is insanely far behind right now. And this is not a blue land. Nor is it a red land. What does this do? Okay. Colorless land in a Grixis 3-color deck. And a vampire. Okay, that's different. Yeah, I'll just play the wastes. I'm not going to do this. I'm also not going to dredge this fetch land for a while anyways. Till I have to dredge, I guess I'd rather not. I don't want to wind up milling something crucial. This is not a Graveyard Matter style Necrobloom deck. This is completely fine, though. That's pretty They didn't swing. They missed their damage. Oh no. Do I recast it, or do I cast this? I think we cast this because we just do. Yeah. Okay, so you... and... you? Okay. I already have the snow versions. That makes sense to me. And... I can offer a trade and then analyze, but that doesn't really... I don't think I want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can analyze for Emrakul almost. Oh man, I would love to blow this up with this. Oh well, I guess I'll do it with this. I guess we'll just do it with this. So I think I'm going to cast my commander. I don't see a reason to leave up Death Sprout right now. Doesn't seem like a reasonable thing to do. I won't miss Necrobloom dying right now. I can simply recast it. Dredging is just on the table as well. Okay. Sure. You got it. Dig up. Alright, that changes things. So I have a lot of options. I think Casualties of War probably just wins the game. I cannot currently cast it, though. Can I cast it if I tap green? No, I can't. Okay. I don't know what this could possibly get, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just going to collect evidence. Probably not going to get a land. Deathrite Shaman is interesting. So is Heliod's Pilgrim. We can just get Pilgrim, and then get Overwhelming Splendor. That way I have basically all of my game-ending threats that my opponent currently has no answer to. Both of these are must-answer threats. It is nice that I just don't need my commander. I could just play Abzan ramp nonsense. That's pretty neat. And if it ever is sitting in play, it just makes a giant wall of degeneracy. Alright, do we have a vampire? Is this the one that puts one in play? It is. Alright, we do. It is Nightveil Predator? What? Okay. We will respect Spell Pierce. Don't know what else they could possibly have that stops this. And then, force the double chump. Which is probably worth it. They should probably double chump. They did not. They actually kept the Predator around. I don't know why. Some kind of bounce spell? Don't really know. They already cast Feed the Swarm, right? Yeah, so that's one of the Grixis answers to enchantments is now gone. This is maybe slightly more ideal to protect. Maybe that's why they didn't block. Still no land? Yikes. Alright, we'll just end the game. We'll just end the game. Nothing matters here. My opponent can't come out of this. Let's take that land out. Yep, first game. This is... you just can't survive this. I'll hold the land for landfall trigger. I don't need more mana. My opponent did not concede. Alright, if they win, I'm going to be super impressed. That would be wild. My opponent's got something that they're willing to sit through and find. I don't know what it is. They're cooking. This is cool art. That was really cool. Alright, they gave up. I don't know what they had in mind that would justify staying in this game after that, but alright, Nadu, show me what you can do. I want like this deck to like destroy me once. It has not done that. I'll tell you right now how it does do it is a 1-drop. So Delta into jeez. Well, with these lands, I have to Delta on turn 2. Unless I top deck a green creature. Alright, look at that. They have the green card on 1. And they're on the play. So if ever they were going to win, This is how. Okay, my opponent for some reason chose to... What is this? What is happening? That free spell, the 2-mana thing, Once Upon a Time? Is it Once Upon a Time? It must be Once Upon a Time. It must be. Okay, let's go get a land. Don't really, it has to be an untapped one. I guess Godless Shrine? It's fine with me. And I would be kind of surprised if they had a counterspell here. I think it is Once Upon a Time. I don't feel like I should get this right now, but if I don't, it could be a while till I do. That's fine. That's fine. It doesn't color screw me in any way. Just get it now. I would love them to just cast their commander right now. I mean, it gets a trigger when I target it, right? Yeah, that's kind of fine with me. So either Kami with no lands was the play, or I don't really know. Maybe they just drew it. Very interesting. I actually would have preferred something come and play right now, but it didn't happen. Black, and cast this. Alright, so my commander's in play. It's not doing too much right now, though, but I don't know how much interaction they have. But it doesn't... Their commander flies. It's just a little bit different. They were willing to wait till they got a thing there. So it must be the... Let's go to combat. It is. It's that green spell that targets any permanent. So I think it can target a land. That's why priority is held. And they're going to target their commander with it. And there's not really anything at all I can do. So I'll just run this out and try to obtain more value than my opponent. Because that seems to be an ideal thing to do. Okay, that's a unfortunate thing to reveal to my opponent. Rather not them know about casualties of war. Alright, so they have to amass a lot of value. They also almost need a counterspell because this is a problem. What does this do? Search your library for an artifact? Okay, so it's one of those equipment spammy artifacts, probably. The One Ring, that knocks off Overwhelming Splendor. So I gotta be careful. It does give them protection, and this will fall off because it's a curse. It's good to know about. I'm also kind of glad to see it, because of all things that could happen. This is one that I'm not super concerned with currently. I don't know if this gets countered if it targets something that gets hexproof in response. I don't actually know how that works. I guess we'll find out. This has Ward 1. Can I pay 1 in the ward anyways? I actually just can't pay Ward 1, so I can't even target their commander. Alright, well. Let's be real, it wasn't going to resolve anyways. Let's blow that up, and I guess... this? Avoiding their commander could be useful with this Casualties of War. I don't know. I could have dredged or surveilled one, and then looked for a land, because I had this. I couldn't have dredged, because I don't want to mill this, but I could have surveilled for an untapped land, and then paid Ward 1, but again, I highly doubt it matters. And it literally would not have mattered. Okay, they did not have to counter that, but they did. So, D-Spark gets rid of the One Ring. I guess I'm keeping it, because the One Ring's a problem. I do have Rite of Oblivion, though, but an instant speed answer seems like a good idea. I don't know. I think just finding lands, racing, and getting mana is just better. I think that's just better. I don't know. I think I could just do better than that, so. We know 2 cards in their hand. But they could wind up being a problem. This definitely plays a slower game than Ivy does. For sure. And I guess it can. Sometimes. Sometimes it can, sometimes it not. We are technically winning the damage race, but that doesn't mean much. Does not mean much. Pillars of Bog would be kind of nice. Let us lead with this on the One Ring. Getting rid of a plant. I feel like this is better than anything else I can do. I mean, you might as well draw a card off it. So I can pay for ward. I don't want to target their commander, but like if I continue to force my opponent to do things, I also don't want to. Let's go to combat first. I don't want to get rid of this Pillage the Bog, so I don't want to cast this Cultivator. Alright. It looks like they have some answer, but again, that's... I know targeting my opponent's commander draws them cards, so maybe I just blow up the enchantment instead and accept that their thing just perpetually exists. Right? It feels kind of foolish to target Nadu and then they just get a free spell. Looks like it paid off. Looks like it did pay off. Swiftfoot Boots. Alright, so now I'm just never targeting it anyways. And we're just banking on no counter spell, I guess. Are we still winning the race? I think we're still winning this race. I think we are. It's hard to tell. Let's get a Surveil land here. That is a pretty good draw. Unfortunately, it's not in my hand, so I don't think I can keep it sitting there. That doesn't really help me, but it would have been nice. Okay, let's lead with the attack again. Oh, wait, what's this? What's this? I would love a spell here. I would love you to cast something here. I just don't know what I would love to see. Cyclonic Rift? No, it can't be. Oh, okay, so they... Sure. And they draw, enters the battlefield, change target instant or sorcery with a single target. Okay, sure, that doesn't do anything currently. So this means Overwhelming Splendor does work. Unless they have, like, Spell Pierce or something. Oh, we're in. We're in. We're in. We're in. No text for you, good sir. No text for you. No creatures can deal with this. It's like Beseiju, bounce spells, stuff like that. Oh, okay. Wait, that doesn't have trample. Nice, it doesn't have trample. Sweet, we would have actually died. We actually would have died. They drew or had lethal for the next turn cycle, but we shut them down. Yeah, this is an excellent answer to something I can't really target. It doesn't have hexproof, so you can blow it up, but obviously they get cards when you do. I will take this time to say, again, if my opponent was playing Ivy, and they were playing an all-in, like, go tall blue-green Ivy deck, I probably would have been blasted into oblivion right now. But this long, grindy back-and-forth thing, eventually they're going to run out of gas, or slip up, or I attack them at an angle that is miserable for them to be attacked at, which is, like, Overwhelming Splendor. They already played the One Ring, so they couldn't stop it. They couldn't even... I don't think Tails End counters this in any way. It targets them, but it doesn't... You can't counter who I target with a curse or anything like that. And going after the aura seemed to not stop my opponent from casting protection spells on this, which didn't really matter, I guess. I mean, they're just cycling through them, right? It didn't really matter anyways, but I think this game would have been categorically different. I think I may have lost if they had a 1-mana ramp spell. Be pretty cool. Okay, this is Baby Pock. However, that is not that different. Alright, I will keep this because these cards are great, but this hand is, as a whole, not really good at all. Is that worth it? I don't know, it's worth it. Yep. Go on, play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. I have no black mana. What are you scared of? Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to kill it now to get around protection spells and all that jazz. I can pick this back up with Balagit. I don't think I will. I also kind of want to cast this before I cast my commander. It might not even matter, but who knows. Alright, that just makes my decision easier. Let's get rid of Idyllic Tutor, or... Actually, I really don't know. I already have a Snow Forest. Maybe I just don't get rid of anything? No, we want a second white source, No, we already have the second white source. We could just get rid of a land, and my commander has the option of dredging it. can also simply draw another land anyways, and I did. I will play this tapped because there's some worlds where I Primeval Titan next turn. There is a universe where that is a thing. It'll distract my opponent for a turn cycle. Maybe they'll commit more to this as well. Especially when I have like the biggest creature in play, they might not be interested in contemplating that I can blow up the board because I'd blow up my own 6/6. So every time I've played against this commander, they've had this card. Every single time. It's kind of insane. I don't know what's going on. It's like the deck building thing has a bias, or I don't know. I've played against this, I think, 7 to 8 times the past week, and every time it's been in the game. Maybe not like in the opener, but it's been in the game every single time. It's not that scary, but it's just like, you know, one of your better cards, obviously. Alright, I'm gonna play around some weird green spell here. Alright, it looks like it was not that relevant, but I don't have the Casualties of War. I'd rather just play Primeval Titan. I haven't cast it yet. Let's get a bounce spell and a gate. And pick up you. Look at that. Primeval Titan getting 3 mana instead of 2. I love this bounce land so much. It's just so good here. Okay. So I let my opponent have all this because I didn't do this, but again, it's on my opponent to somehow come out of this happening. Both of these existing. Okay, they did not. I will absolutely take a trade here. 2 fetch lands? No, we can get the gates. We don't need colorless for any reason. We already have it, so yeah, we'll just get some more Seek lands. Opponent probably should not. Yeah, they didn't. Saying they probably shouldn't block here. Alright. Land, creature, artifact. This probably schmeats my opponent into oblivion. I don't even care about Nissa. Yep. Just completely annihilated my opponent. Okay, so none of my opponent's creatures die? And this, it flies. Because of course it does. Alright, that's pretty neat. That's actually really cool. Multicolored creature dies, they just come right back. Pretty scary. Maybe I wanted to lead with Kami. I don't know. I didn't, though. Guess I still just cast it anyways. Look at that. Play this tapped and swing. Alright, so we're doing pretty well here. I want to hold the fetch land for plants, if that even matters. Send it. Yeah. I'm going to block, because why not? This isn't really doing anything, and 1 damage could literally matter quite a bit in this matchup. I'm not incentivized to play this. I know surveilling makes sense, but I don't know. I have this. This could just matter. Alright, never mind. Literally nothing matters. I just completely hose my opponent. Yep. Well, enjoy your nothing. Yeah, that just, I think they missed a land drop too, huh? And I blew up a mana dork. Yep, that's just, I mean, this is just, nothing matters but the green spells, and then you cast the other colors later, and then just completely destroy your opponent with them. Alright, we'll do that. Reprobation instead of Despark. I like it. Alright, opponent was going to go to Mold 6, and I believe they were on the draw, so probably a miserable thing to do. I think they were trying to find a 1 mana ramp spell, or I don't know, maybe they're just mana screwed, just didn't want to play at 6. I think they were going to 6, not 5. I said 5, but they were going to 6. Alright, not much to be said about that one. Build your deck better, I don't know. Don't scoop on mulligans. Some people just don't want to start the game from behind, which, with that logic, I guess you auto-concede to Luris, because your opponent just gets an extra card and you don't, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because Wizards thought that was a good idea. Alright, speaking of Luris, wow, I was just talking about Luris, and what do you know? I'm playing against Luris. Luris with the sack spammy thing. So hopefully this is a gum up the game with the board token thing, and I can pull ahead. Well, that's not really what this hand does. I kind of want some kind of ramp spell to play Magic the Gathering. There we go. It's a lot better. What do we get rid of? All of these are totally reasonable. I don't even like getting rid of this. I actually don't like getting rid of this. Maybe I get rid of this. Okay. Do I need this untapped on 1? I think I do. So, Overgrown Tomb it is? Yes. Do you have the removal? It's all 1s and 2s, so there could easily be a lot of removal that deals with this. They do no, maybe not. Okay. Looks like they don't. Do they draw it? They do not. Okay, so I will play this, and I will immediately. No, wait. We wanna do this. We wanna do this, and get our colorless land for the sake of it. Oh, it's just cast a spell. They could have like a discard spell, and I'd feel bad about it. I'm not respecting Mana Tithe this way. I don't really need this though, but it's fine. I think this is fine. Like if I got Mana Tithe there, I think I live. I am ahead. They do have to like play to the board, and I do a very good job at not letting the board get ahead of me. On the ground. They could fly over it, obviously. But I just have like infinite token chumping nonsense. I can start dredging that land. I think I will dredge a land here. I think I just want that. Perilous Mirror? Oh, I forgot to... I meant to dredge. I'm sorry. I clicked draw instinctively. Right. My bad. Could just make my opponent depressed. No. Let's stay... Let's do this here. Get, white... Double white? No, black-white. I don't need double white yet. I don't have one of my other cards. I could have swung, but I don't want Mystic to die. Not yet. At least I don't think I do. Who knows? So, again, I'm kind of looking to dredge. Actual land this time for realsies. Okay. At least once. Start making impacts to the board here. Let's do this. I can seek with this at some point. I will get my second white now. And I'm willing to trade. So if my opponent wants to trade, that's fine. If they want to trade. And then I can use the Elvish Mystic to just draw and not feel bad about it. Like, this is totally fine. I do not need Elvish Mystic. It's probably better to not have it in play, because if I do rely on it at some point, it could get jacked up. Player sacrifices a non-token creature. Oh, I did want the Elvish Mystic, dude. Tragic. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just so far ahead with the mana. So far ahead here. Oh no, they see my goose, I think. Yeah. Alright. So I want to find Overwhelming Splendor instead of just, like, not doing that. Yeah. Probably better than doing anything else, to be honest with you, so I will. We will just go get Overwhelming Splendor here. I could get Casualties of War. I think my opponent would concede to that too, but let's just get this card. I think it's funny. And there's no reason to crack that. Oh, I forgot to swing. I forgot to swing, dude. Oh, yet again. We can't seem to gum up the board. Everyone just flies over the board. I don't know what's going on. Everyone's just flying over my board like crazy right now. Alright, that is... Well, I guess ordinarily is kind of spooky, but, like, in this instance, it, like, kind of isn't. They reanimate their... Yeah, alright, so I lose my mana with the goose. I guess. I mean, sure. I'll just eat the food token. I could sacrifice it with this. No, I'll just eat the food token. Why not? I did miss 4 damage, though. Don't think it'll matter. Not going to lie. Don't think it'll matter at all. Play this and Grazer, I guess. So, do you have another way of reanimating that? That would be funny. I have a Grazer now, though, so you can't make me Edict my only non-token. Okay. That's a bit slow. A little bit slow there. You know, a little slower into things. Let's dredge that. Okay. Didn't get hosed by my dredge. But I do want the land. And this probably wins. I don't really know what they could have at all that deals with this, so... Oh, they're playing it out. A board wipe does not deal with Overwhelming Splendor at all. But that might be what's going on here. I love the fact that I'm just sitting behind, like, answers to everything, too. It's just really nice. I kind of want to, like, not dredge lands, because making tutus is great, but I have a lot of powerful, like, ramp draws that are kind of the same thing, but faster, and I don't think I want to dredge... I would dredge these lands if they kept, like, repeating or something. We could look into lands that care about being dredged, that you sacrifice over and over, that are not simply fetch lands. I think your deck gets weaker, though, because it relies on your commander more for those to do anything. It does not seem like an ideal place to be. Okay. We're also simply winning with the board anyways, and Bitter Blossom's doing my job for me. I could just cycle away Rite of Oblivion. I could just have too much removal. And that... See, that just feels weird, though. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I feel convinced I just don't need more mana, more lands, more removal, I mean, excuse me. Just don't need it. Just don't need it. Opponent's at 9. Bitter Blossom will kill them in 9 turns, way before it kills me. Kind of die into their own card here. And they're also dead to the board. So you need, like, Farewell. Farewell will get you back in it. It's possible, I guess. It would be kind of weird, but... we have it. Alright. Sweep the board. Keep my 2/7. Oh, hey, look. More answers. My goodness. Absolute debauchery right now. I love it. Alright. Bitter Blossom will save you life because you're blocking 2s, but you're still losing 1. It's kind of funny. They can reanimate their Edict creature right now, and Lurrus does have lifelink. Like, they can play Lurrus and then Edict with this thing. Get rid of my 2/7. Oh, wait, no, they can't. What am I talking about? I have Splendor. They didn't answer it yet. I forgot. Like, usually people scoop so quickly, I forgot that it's, like, a card that can continue to exist. My bad. I mean, yeah, there's just nothing. I don't know what my opponent could possibly do here. Let's surveil 1, see what's going on. Give us more decisions to make. Yep, keep that. Alright, we're drowning in removal here. And my opponent has still not answered this, so none of it matters. Yeah, removal. What, do you have options on turn 2? What are you doing? Okay. That's weird. Well, do we get a Surveil Land, or do we just get the Triome? Maybe I just do get the Triome. I don't know. I already have, like, lands. I don't know what I'm surveilling for. Okay, let's get that. Let's do this. I don't think this is a snow land kind of situation. I need... what's that one in my hand? Godless Shrine. So black, white, black, white. Probably another green. I technically do not need another green. I do need a second white. I already have it. Maybe I actually can get a colorless. Seems wild that I can get this, but I kind of can because I got the Triome. I don't need a second green. And I have Binding this turn, which is really nice. Assuming my opponent plays Urza, which I think they will. This is an artifact. Can this blow that up? No. Yeah, this is excellent. This is excellent. Works out real nice. set them back to the Stone Ages. I'm not going to Wrath there. This finds a land. That's just good. I could get a Surveil land, but again, I have the turn every time this would get a Surveil land, end up shuffling it, so probably just don't do that. This is probably not a very good Splendor game, but from what I'm seeing, it's not the worst. Unctus, okay. Looks like we might actually end up surveilling. Depends what we draw, but I kind of want to kill this. Yeah, I kind of want to kill that. They have 2 mana up, though, so hopefully they spend it right now. So far, it looks like a creature-based thing, not like counterspell, spammy nonsense. But even if it is, I guess this getting countered actually doesn't just instantly make me lose. Unlike the last game. I don't just immediately lose to that. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and surveil here. This is nice, but I kind of already have like stuff, so I suppose we can respect Mana Tithe. There's no reason not to. All right, nice. Just snapped happened. So this shuts off the Springleaf Drum, and Unctus is obviously dead. This is no text on it, right? This doesn't do anything? I don't think it does anything. We're also at the 7 land, so this starts to work more. Or do more thingies. That is totally fine. Although this is a 4/4 post-Splendor. So it's not, like, that great to see, but I don't know. Could have been worse, maybe. Black, white, green, so... green... white... do I play my commander? I think I do. Because if they counter it, I can cast it again. Right? That's totally fine. And I don't see a reason to play Migration Path. Yeah, that is totally fine with us. They're at 5 mana. I would love land Urza. That would be nice. That would be excellent, actually. Not land Urza Spell Pierce, though. That would be not excellent. Because the drum can still become a Manadork, so hopefully they swing with it. Okay, good. Hopefully swing with it. So this is 5 damage coming back after I cast this, and that does not kill me. And then from here, it could be a huge problem, so we're just going to run it out. I will play my land. Oh, excuse me, it's 6 damage, because it's a 1/1 with 4 counters or whatever. 6 damage coming at us. We have like 2 blockers. I can play this and then kill the drum. Oh, it's 7 damage. It's 7 damage. Alright, alright. Never mind. Kinda spooky. Kinda spooky. I really need no further interaction. I could have killed this. I feel like it's better to do literally what I did instead, though. Who knows? Okay. That was a really good draw, I think. Was it a good draw? Maybe it wasn't. I could play this. No. We're just doing this. That was the plan. I'm going to get lost right now to just not die to something. If they top deck a counterspell, I'd rather not lose, right? So, let's do that now. Next turn, we start getting 2/2s, and then we're sitting a lot more pretty. I can sack one of them immediately for this as well. It appears as though this one of their cards in their hand doesn't really do anything, and whatever they drew this turn. Okay. Scry 2 draw, make a 0/0. That survives because of the Humiliate effect. Sure. Okay. Alright. Sure. This isn't the one that blows anything up. We did it. We barely got there, but, well, I shouldn't say barely. I think we were, I mean, without this, the game is over till it's dealt. I don't know. I think my line was the best one. Let's not do again. Great. Well, can't win them all. Can't win every Nadu game. This is a good hand? Probably not getting a Surveil. I don't have to think right now about it, though. I just do this. I guess the uncounterable thing on this could matter. I've seen counter spells in Nadu. My opponent also probably really wants to Minidork of their own, which I'm kind of interested in killing, actually. It does give them, like, maps, which their commander actually does care about. It's funny. Alright, they do not have one. Yet again. Okay, I did find a land for Explore, so I will cast Explore. And there's nothing else to do. I can leave up removal. Or I can just Surveil and get a black thing or something. Jitte, that's adorable. 1 mana equip spam. Pretty nice with your commander. So I don't think I want to Surveil. I'll just get a Triome to guarantee my colors here. I don't feel like my hand demands me surveilling. Well, drawing that, it kind of does, but... Alright, let's cast this. Black, white. So I want a second black. Okay. Casting this Casualties of War is going to be kind of disgusting. My opponent might get to untap with their commander, though, if I don't immediately try to kill it. And that could be a huge problem. Oh. Oh, alright. Alright, so drawing a land would be massive, because then I probably just straight win. But, if I don't, it's not the end of the world. I did not. Okay. So, let's go fix all our mana woes by playing this. Get you and Command Tower? Sure. Pick up the Triumph for no reason. Replay it. Alright, so I have all the mana we need and our colorless mana. For, like, Nebby. The Nebs. I would love them to cast cards, like, right now. Just, like, do a bunch of things right now would be excellent. Man, if only this was Ivy and I was already dead. Imagine. Alright, well, that makes my life easier to think about. They can only protect one of these with the Casualties of War. I guess I'll just double removal. I really, like, don't want to do that. It's kind of, like, ugly to do. Maybe I... Okay, I have an idea. My opponent can't crack their fetch land, so this works. I have an idea. They also can't block, so... We are sort of winning this race, which happened last time. They can't block, they cannot crack their fetch land. Because if they do, I just kill their commander and they probably just straight lose. Sure. Getting close to Uro. I don't think I'm concerned with Uro, though. Another land, sure. A turn. Displacer Kitten changes that dramatically. I guess I let that resolve. 1, 2... Okay. This is kind of sketchy. Okay. They only have 1 mana, and I have 2 removal spells. So... we're winging it? Both triggers are on the stack. So... I think this works. Yeah, it does. Okay. They also hit no lands off of their Nadu. Alright, double removal. They're also completely tapped out, so unless they find a land randomly. I think we can take the time to draw. Dredge, excuse me. Alright, well, I mean... Artifact, creature, and I don't really know what land matters. I guess this one. So they get a trigger here. Hopefully it's not a land. It isn't. Alright, get wrecked. This game's over. You'd have to do some wild stuff to come out of this, but I guess it's possible. I guess it is possible. So do I pick up anything right now, and if so, what and why? I believe I just don't. I don't think there's any merit in picking anything up. I guess I missed a damage with that logic. I have no idea what this deck does to come out of it. It is certainly not Uro. I highly doubt that that's the line to get you out of this, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. Let's surveil. I think we're surveilling, right? Yeah, we're going to surveil instead of getting a Seek land here. Because I already have, like, a good card, sort of, maybe, on this. I could Casualties of War again, but, you know, you gotta be careful against Nadu. Could do some random stuff when you cast it. I don't have, like, an Edict spell, which would probably be a little bit better. Growth Spiral, Counterspell on top. It's not gonna cut it. And this game is now completely over. They are just dead, right? They blocked that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are dead on board. Yep. People are adamant that this commander is good, and I'm just, bro, every time I'm seeing it, I'm like, how? Alright. I'm just gonna swing. I'm not gonna think about it. They're just dead exactly. Get wrecked. Nice. Yeah, I mean, alright. Again, if that was Ivy on turn 2, or I'd be like, uh-oh, right, with a protect spell up, but... And now, I guess with this example, this game, my opponent didn't hit too many lands off of their triggers, so they didn't get to exploit all that mana, which could have mattered, right? So, there's always going to be an excuse why someone tells me that this commander is actually better than the 7, or now 8 times I've just not lost to it. But, alright. I can see the threat. I can see the fear. How, like, that game could have been very different if my opponent had slightly different outcome. But you could say the same about my deck. You could say the same about mine. Right. Okay, so this was absolutely excellent. It was phenomenal, actually. It was just phenomenal. Albzon, or more over black-green value, you know, Jundam out style, you know, the Rock strategy, black-green X, was just good. Having Field of the Dead in your command zone is just good. You don't always need it. You don't need it early. If you do, you can cast it. It does a very good job at stemming the bleeding that your opponent might be trying to swing at you with. And then later on, it just becomes a serious issue with an army of 2/2s. And if your opponent isn't, like, constantly blowing up the board or whatever, you're fine. And if they are committed to blowing up the board, you're probably going to threaten them with something else crazy. I bumped into a couple control decks, and they did seem to be a little rough for us, but I didn't lose every single one. Emrakul would have been better as any other Emrakul in that instance, and sometimes Overwhelming Splendor doesn't do anything against control, but control does kind of suffer when you have a constantly spamming army of 2/2s. Like, it's just kind of rough to deal with, unless they have, like, infinite sweepers. Or just continuously countering this over and over. Well, it can happen. But all in all, I think I only lost, what was it, 2 hours? I only lost like 3 games, maybe 4. I don't know. I'll have to go and see, but it was excellent. I never had the dream null, the Neb here. It just never came up. Unfortunate. It does make your decision to try to find that wastes a little annoying. So sometimes that is annoying, but I don't think it ever came up that I was screwed that I found the wastes. I don't think that was ever a problem. So this is probably just a thing you can rely on just putting in your deck. I think it's fine. It is a surprise gotcha card. Like, your opponent's not going to ever respect you. Ever respect you casting this, right? Just like your Obzon, you're not going to counter something, and then boom, you know, you did. And they're like, oh, shoot. It's also nice to not run Mana Rocks. They're way more vulnerable than everything else, but green can just go ahead and not do that. I really think Primeval Titan wants to be a different card. I just don't like this card here. I know it's so good with Field of the Dead. It's much better when it can actually get it itself, Field of the Dead. This probably doesn't have to be this card. I saw a card played against me that was pretty cool, and it was a Eldrazi kicker thing. In the new set. Yeah, this thing. This was cool. I liked it. It's a 4-mana 3/3. You get a land. Put it into play. Any land. Does not have to be a basic. And then, if you kick it, you can blow up one of your opponent's lands. That's at 6 mana, which is Primeval Titan mana. And I just like doing that more than Primeval Titan getting me a bunch of lands. One land is kind of fine, and this costs less than 6 to get the one land, so that's the logic behind. I like Hour of Promise. I don't necessarily like Primeval Titan. Hour of Promise costs 5. That is very different. This costs 4. So this should have probably been in there instead of Primeval Titan. It just wasn't on my radar, and I didn't own it. But I mean, I can craft it, and I'll put it in. But yeah, all the games I lost, it didn't come to me needing like, oh man, I lost because I didn't have a big thing to do that won the game, right? Oh, they just trampled over me, and it's like none of that kind of thing. I wasn't quote unquote like outvalued, and then I just couldn't drown them in value and like 2/2s or. I always felt fine. There was a couple games where I had so much removal in my hand, it just looked hilarious. Like they're locked under Overwhelming Splendor or something like an army of 2/2s, and I'm sitting with like 3 removal spells in hand, like that answer basically everything, right? I mean, not everything, but Maelstrom Pulse does, right? Rite of Oblivion was phenomenal. It was so good. Reprobation just shutting down your opponent's commander. Death Sprout probably could be a 2-mana removal spell. Let's be real. I wanted the ramp on it. I mean, I just like this card, but it probably should just be a literally anything else, actually. But yeah, the core strategy is just excellent. Escape Shift also could probably be something else. I don't really like the idea of getting rid of all my lands, and then just to trigger this, it could die in response. It could just not matter. It could color screw me because I don't actually have infinite targets for all these fetch lands. If I crack and get rid of 10 lands, I could very well have the remaining 10 be really, really not good lands. So that could probably just be some generic ramp spell. The flare, the green flare was not in here. I don't know where the deck weight of the flares is. It's probably 45. Right? If they continue with that thing, they said they're going to change it. They're not going to change it. And we might not learn what new cards are in deck weight terms, ever. So, I don't know where the flare is. It's just another cultivate usually, though, because we don't have a lot of things to sacrifice to it. There are plenty of decks that is not the problem, not an issue. You can't sack tokens. It has to be non-tokens. If it was tokens, it's like an auto-include. But we're not going to sacrifice our mana dorks. That makes no sense. Kami and a Boreal Grazer are your only god tier Omega things. Turn 1 Grazer, Flare, you just win. You win that game. You're going to win that game. Most people, that's more powerful than Ragavan. Flaring a Boreal Grazer on one that also, ideally put a land in play when you actually played it. That's just completely insane. In fact, you one land hand with a Grazer Kami with Flare. Just, you don't have a land problem anymore, right? It's just completely disgusting. Although that's obviously not as good. But yeah, that I liked it. I really liked it. There's definitely more things that could have been in here, but I was completely blasting people. Everyone was sweating Nadu. I played against it like 5 times or 4 times. Never lost. That was anecdotal again, but... And I didn't even feel like I had a lot of removal. I came into this thinking I was removal light. Like, oh, I needed more to actually interact with my opponents. And that was not the case. It just wasn't the case at all. But with that being said, it certainly could put more removal in here. It's definitely possible. Not having to worry about your opponent's creatures because you're sitting with a 2/7 that maybe makes a bunch of plants that block, then a bunch of 2/2s that block. Kind of nullifies a lot of the creature removal that I'm normally interested in, because I kind of gum up the board. With that being said, you don't gum up everything. You can be flown right over, right? Their airplanes have been invented. They can, angels can just smack you in the face, and you're not really stopping that, which is a little rough. There's ways... You can run the Ulvenwold Hydra. I wouldn't do that, though. If I'm not running Primeval Titan, I'm not running Ulvenwold Hydra. But, yeah, I never felt like I was upset when this died. Never felt like I had to play it on turn 4, or as my 4-drop, when I had 4 mana. I think the most crucial thing was just getting some ramp spell. I think you always probably want at least one ramp spell. This is no exception to that. I don't think Thalia is the same. Like all the obs on command, Gitrog monster, both Gitrogs. Really anything green, but in the context of black green mid range removal value, with just I guess we had white. You probably want a ramp spell on one or two. I don't know if you can. I did win, I think, 2 or 3. I think it was 2 games without a 1 or 2 ramp spell. But I was going in like, oh boy, opponent better not do anything crazy, right? Like, and if they're a counterspell heavy deck, and I didn't get any of my early ramp to like kind of keep up with all the soft counters at least, it just kind of felt rough. But other than that, I really, really like this commander. I will probably be playing this one instead of Pock for like my daily wins when I'm like not streaming. I just love Field of the Dead is my favorite card. It's just my favorite card in EDH, and putting it in the command zone is awesome. This is way worse than Golos, mind you, because Golos is literally the same thing, except Golos gets it and it's a land and can't die well, it can, but it's way less likely to die. This can die over and over. That is way different. Talking about the dredge part, which I guess I didn't ever talk about. I didn't talk about it in the intro, I don't think. I was always nervous about milling too, because I was like, oh man, I don't have too many win conditions. I hope I don't mill them. But the idea that I always have a land drop, kind of like Renin 6, kind of gives you that ability, is really nice. Like, I think there were 2 games, or 3, anywhere from like, let's say 3 to 5 games, in the first half of playing, I kind of forgot I could dredge a land, and I'm like, oh, I have 4 lands, I'm screwed, I don't have any more lands for next turn. I hope I top deck it. It's like, well, I could just play Necrobloom, and then I can just dredge the land that I fetched, the fetch land that is in my... It's like, okay, that's great. And I guess the last thing I'll talk about is value lands. So if you wanted lands that actually care about sacrifice... Lands that like you sacrifice to do things are kind of slow, and they're not the most powerful of abilities, so I don't really like them that much. Like, I don't know, let's take for example, I don't know, like these, they come in tapped, so you don't immediately get to do the thing, and they also, it's like 2 mana and itself, so it's like kind of 3 mana to just draw a card, and then like where you're just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem, you dredged this to put for your draw for the turn, and then you like put it in play to do it later. That doesn't really get you anywhere at all. Actually, it doesn't do anything. Westvale Abbey, however, is excellent. We have a lot of tokens. I love this card. This actually probably should have been in here. This card is phenomenal with this strategy. I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot this card existed till just now. This goes so well with Field of the Dead. If you cast Hour of Promise, you get Field of the Dead in this. Then you sacrifice zombies to make, like, Ormondal. That's awesome. If it dies, I can dredge it too, because I can dredge lands. This goes in the graveyard as a land. I don't know how on earth this dies. It's indestructible, but it can. Should have been in the deck, though. Now it is. I gotta be careful, though. Gotta be careful. I don't know how heavy this is in deck weight. I cannot imagine it's heavy, though. I've never seen this in play, so I don't imagine it's like a heavy deck weighted card there. Treasure Vault can also be an interesting one. By the time you're making a ton of treasures, though, I don't see what you're using those treasures for, and you're just sort of dirtling with a bunch of mana, which is kind of strange to me. Urza's Cave is another value-centric card. I can just always find Westvale Abbey. Now that it's in there, I could always find... well, that's actually it when it comes to value lands, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's really about it. Just Westvale Abbey. This just plays nicely with it, because, again, we don't have access to Field of the Dead. It is banned in this format, as it probably should be. This started in my deck, Shire Terrace, but I just didn't really like it. I kind of felt like it being untapped wasn't really worth the colorless it makes, and the paying one additional to turn it into an actual land just didn't really feel like it was worth it. Same with all the terramorphic expanses. I don't think that many was worth it. Like, almost a third or slightly over a third of our mana base is like already fetch lands, and I think in terms of value lands that sacrifice to do things, your only real option, in my opinion, is the fetch lands. I don't like any of these like blast zoning repeatedly with dredging this over and over. Just seems goofy and not really getting you anywhere. I don't know. It's possible though, if you feel like that's something you want to do, you can. Phyrexian Scrapyard is viable, probably, right? You just keep sacrificing your yeah, I don't know what you're discarding. You could discard lands and then dredge those lands back into play, right? You can just keep making land drops with this, turn other cards that are already lands in your hand into more lands that make 6/6s later. Again, is that worth it to you? Is it worth the deck weight that this puts on your deck, right? If it's a 45 or a 36, is it worth it? I would say no, but if it was a 9-pointer or a 0-pointer, a lot of lands are 0, yeah, why not? I mean, 3 colors, I never felt color screwed, literally ever, in my 3-color deck. Primarily green, and then the green finds the other colors very easily, so that was not an issue. You could absolutely put something like this in here. It's possible, right? I could go on and on about what cards could go into this deck, because it's just like black-green value town, and that just leaves you with a lot of options. We didn't even have any really white cards. Didn't even need Day of Judgment. This could have been something else. It could have been Crux of Fate, so I had less double white cards. Right? This is 9 points, though. That's why that's in here. It's worth 9 points, so it's like light on the deck weight. Some cards I didn't get to see. Surprisingly, I don't believe I ever saw Deathrite Shaman in play, but pretty much every single game I played, if this was my 1-drop, it was going to do something mana related. So that's just good. Vraska, don't think I ever resolved this card either, but it sacrifices the tokens to draw and can just blow things up, right? Abrupt Decay, whatever you want. I don't think the ultimate's really ever going to come up, but it could. I mean, we do go wide if the game looks like that. It's a goofy scenario, but it's totally possible. I'm a big fan of these universal 1-for-1s. They're just really awesome, like Maelstrom Pulse and Mythos and stuff. Felt really awesome. But shoot, you could run the Wandering Emperor. You know, don't forget you can play white. It wasn't just Overwhelming Splendor. But yeah, alright. Enough rambling. Let me know what you thought about this commander. I will absolutely recommend the commander 6 Ways to Sunday, especially where I was playing. It was not Hell Q, it was like, you know, middle of the ground, maybe slightly under. I don't know where the new ones weighted. Maybe they start at 360 or 0 because they don't know where to weight them yet. And they give them like a week or something, but I recommend this strategy in the context of this list in how it stays. If you change it and suddenly you're playing against Keenan's, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You know, go back to this. Alright, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.